Mississippi Coliseum again here in Jackson, Mississippi. The Bay High Tigers, the Corinth Warriors getting ready to get after it in a 4A semifinal game. Josh West alongside Randy Bolden as we dive in to the starting lineups. And as we look at these starting lineups, we'll take it the starting lineups for Corinth, and we'll start with the North number 1. Corinth, very impressive starting lineup here. Eric Richardson alongside Jose Contreras. You see Jazz Garner, Dion Weeks, and Raheem Sorrell. And then for the Bay High Tigers, the South number 2 seed in this boys semifinal, it'll be Caleb Ladner alongside Brandon Primus, Justice Williams, Howard Weaver, and Taylor Singleton. We'll step aside for a break. We'll come back with analysis and the tip after this. You're watching the MHSAA Network.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program and participate in the MHSAA network, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Corinth High School Warriors, a record of 28-5 on the season. It is an electric atmosphere here at the Big House in the state capitol. Coach Keith Green, his Corinth Warriors with revenge on their minds. Last year, beaten in the championship game 60-55 by Boonville. Boonville has already been impressive in this tournament. Now Boonville dropping down classifications, still competitive, but Corinth wants to get back to that championship game and get a win. For Bay High, they won it back in 2010 over St. Stanislaus. They've got a record of 27-7. And Randy, my partner here, Randy, we talked about it coming onto the air, that these are two programs. Year in and year out, we see the same teams. It's because these coaching staffs, just like a Kelton Thompson at Bay High, do such a great job of getting these younger kids put into the program and believing.
Right, that's what it's all about, and I think that just contributed to the both schools here. They've been able to get their kids up every year in and year out, and the hard work and determination these guys have put in, as well as those coaching, is paying off on year to year.
Raheem Sorrell to jump it up against Justice Lett. So Lett for Bay High, rather check that Williams, Justice Williams for Bay High, and we're about ready to get this thing underway. And so you see the blue of the Tigers, the white of the Warriors, and Coach, I love these Jordan uniforms. They didn't have these back when I played.
Oh, yeah, times have definitely changed. They really look good. Both teams look really good out there tonight, and they say if you look good, you play well. So we're expecting a good ball game today.
Randy Bolden, head coach at Meridian High School. I played at Wayne County, so it's been interesting. We had to work out differences, come to a handshake agreement that we wouldn't get after each other.
Oh, no question about
during
it.
the broadcast.
About that.
No, all smiles, all fun here as you saw a quick start by the home team. The baseline jumper already a 2-0 lead, and so, whenever you can knock down that first shot, get a couple of trips down the floor, you settle in.
Yeah, it helps get those jitters out, and I see Corinth is coming out in a pressure up, man-to-man defense, trying to disrupt that offense early on here.
Here is Primus, right side of 3 ball, a clean look, knocked in by Caleb Ladner, the junior, and that will settle him down. And so now both teams have got a bucket. We should be off and running now.
Oh, no question about it. Bay High definitely coming out in their man as well. I think they're going to go man for man and just see which team outlasts the other.
Here's a drive baseline, the leaner, contact, and one. Count the basket, and going right to the hoop was Jose Contreras, just a sophomore. The youth movement continues in this tournament, and Contreras looking to cap off that three-point play.
Right, no doubt. Looking at Bay High, it looks like they're going to have to get up and down the floor. They don't have a kid over 6 feet, so I'm anticipating an up-tempo style of basketball coming from Bay High tonight.
The free throw is up and good by Contreras. And so Ladner to the trigger man. Ladner going to slip it into the backcourt to Williams. Williams off to the races. Spins inside, puts it up over the much taller Sorrell. And here's a steal and a bounce inside. And there's a layup good in traffic. Primus the bucket for 2. 5-5 our score. Very impressed by the Tigers. They don't let their lack of height become an issue as quick hands create a turnover.
Right, they're playing extremely hard. I think they're going to have to utilize their pressure up front and kind of keep Corinth from throwing that ball on the inside and utilizing their size. So look to see Bay High just pressure up early and often.
Bay High kind of carrying the banner for the school now. Girls were defeated 58-41 by Pontotoc in our first 4A semifinal this afternoon. And that was an impressive game, 27 by Quinn Ford in that one. And so Bay High boys now, a lot of the Bay High fans, it's all on the boys. Let's see what they can do right here. Ladner clean look at a three again. That was in and out. And Sorrell the rebound. Raheem clears it out. Here comes Richardson. Richardson quick with the left hand to the rim, and a whistle and a charge call. Gutsy charge stepping in and taking it that time for Bay High.
Yeah, Richardson is a really quick guard with that left hand. He gets to that basket really quick. Unfortunately, he was called for the charge that time, but he looks really good and comfortable with the basketball.
Colton Thompson's Bay High squad scrapping early. Tie ball game. With the basketball, here's Williams. Back to Ladner. Ladner going to put it on the floor. Going to hand it off behind a ball screen. Singleton. Good job of running through the offense for the Tigers. Ladner looking to shoot every time he catches it. Ladner again, this time just short. That time it just kind of got stuck in his palm.
Yeah, the Tigers are doing a good job of running their offense and getting what they want each possession down the floor here.
Almost 3 minutes in. Sorrell got loose and missed the layup. That ball looked like it kind of sprung out of his hand, like it was shot out as he missed that layup. That was one of the most shocking things I've seen just about this tournament. I think it shocked him. He couldn't believe that one went over the rim.
Yeah, I think that's why Singleton stepped out of bounds after getting the rebound there.
Leaves this one short, but the follow with two hands. Nearly a tip jam that time, put up by Deion Meeks. Tigers nearly turn it over. Nice spin move, but off the side of the backboard. Singleton misses. Corinth pushing. And good dive for the basketball, and that one's going to end up along the sidelines. And let's see where it disappeared to. And they're able to find it right in front of us. Well, at least we didn't have two players underneath the table. That's happened already in this tournament.
Well, it looks like both teams are trying to get up and down early. I think they're trying to get the ball up quick and get some transition and layups here early on.
Pass inside, nice seal, spinning, missing. Another offensive rebound, putback wouldn't go. Another board, now a tie-up, tapped away, Ladner's got it. Bay High pushing, Corinth gets back defensively. Good job that time.
Yeah, that's great transition defense by Corinth.
Warriors showing great team speed, and they've got the height inside. Ladner dribbling free, flips it up, and a charge called on Ladner.
Ladner's come out real aggressive tonight. He's taking the ball to the basket. He's had a couple of three-point looks here early, so he's really looking to come out aggressive today.
Ladner, just a junior, listed at 5'10". 4:10 to go first quarter, 2-point game. Both teams have not been able to get trips, or rather buckets, I should say, the last few trips down the floor. The drive, the leaner, got his own rebound, and foul.
Yeah, Corinth is doing a good job of getting to the basket. Unfortunately, they've missed the 2 or 3 chippies under there, and I think that's just being early on, getting the jitters out. I think later on as the game goes on, you'll see those layups start to fall.
Brandon Primus the foul. That's the third on Bay High. At the line is Deion Meeks. And Meeks misses, the senior, already with a couple of points. We'll see checking in for Bay High, Brandon White, the sophomore. And we have a timeout on the floor. Timeout on the floor gives us a chance to catch our breath, settle in, and get some analysis of the first 4 minutes. So halfway through this first quarter, Corinth a 2-point lead. And give us kind of a point for each team. What does Bay High have to adjust to on the fly? What does Corinth have to adjust to on the fly?
Well, I think Corinth, they just got to settle down here. I think they've getting what they want on offense. They've missed a few chippy layups under there just because of the jitters. I think once they settle in, those shots will start to fall for them. And as far as Bay High, I think they got to push that tempo. I think they can't allow Corinth to get their defense set up because of the length and the size of the Corinth big guys under there. So I think as the game goes on, I think both teams are settling in and playing their style of tempo as we go on.
What do you think, though? Which team do you think, with the way they play, who do you think's got the advantage?
Well, right now I think Corinth, with being so athletic and with the size, and if they're able to utilize their size, it's going to be really tough for Bay High to overcome that.
Things like missing free throws, though, are going to help out the Tigers, who are able to take advantage of 2 weeks' misses. And now the basketball into the hands of Weaver. Very impressed with how Bay High runs through their offense so efficiently. Get a ton of good looks. Driving, spinning, throwing it away, and here's a steal. Richardson in the open floor, weaves around Ladner with the left hand. No, the follow won't go, and a rebound by the little guy. They're all little guys. Williams on the run out. Williams stopping. One on the world, blocked off the backboard and travel.
Yeah, that's another layup missed by Corinth. I think that may be about 5 layups they've missed thus far. So they're keeping Bay High in the basketball game by missing those easy layups. So we'll see if that changes as the game goes on.
Well, guys like Singleton and Sorrell, they might just go up and start dunking it. Here's Sorrell going right to the rack and finishing. Almost could have been an and one. Good no call there by the official as Sorrell finishes.
Yeah, the big guy was able to establish good position there and score the easy layup.
Tigers trying to swing it to the far sidelines. Richardson got his hand in another passing lane. And the Warriors play very similar to the Tigers, but with, just as you touched on in our last time out, more size.
Right, and the difference is with Corinth, they're able to press you up, and if Bay High gets to the basket, they have a big guy down there to disrupt shots under there.
Lander gives it up Singleton. Singleton, nice crossover, was able to go up and draw contact, and he'll go to the line. The Tigers, no question, playing with a lot of heart. Eric Richardson picking up the foul. That's his second. 2 quick ones on Richardson.
Right. The Tigers didn't get this far by having any quit. They're going to continue to play for 32 minutes until that horn sounds. So Corinth may as well get ready for a game that's going to go to the wire here.
Coach, you can help me on some of the basketball player fashion. Are we going full circle with the hairstyles? You know, the Jordan, cue ball was in full effect, and now we're seeing the big hair come back.
Well, yeah, I think it's just a retro thing, when the fashion goes and it comes, and I think it's the afro, the high socks, all those, the trend has come back around. So it's good for basketball.
True. I didn't believe it growing up. They said, fashion just comes in cycles.
It comes back, and the short shorts will be here soon.
Oh, man, now we can leave. That doesn't have to come back. Come on, Coach. Nobody wants to see that, do we? We like these. At least to the knees, right?
Right.
Here's the drive to the rim. Left-hand finish. Pretty impressive that time by Weaver as he flew in against Sorrell and was able to shield Sorrell with his body.
Right, Bay High guard, they're not afraid to get in there and mix it up with the big guys and take it to the rim.
3 ball out of the corner, no good by Contreras. And here come the Tigers, down only 1. No numbers, but they'll find Ladner, a little head fake, freed himself for a good look at a jumper, left it short again. Boy, if he starts getting a little bit more on it, he is dead on target.
Oh, yeah, he looks really good. The ball looks good, leaving his hands, just left it short that time.
Top of the circle with the basketball, it's Jazz Garner. Here's a loose ball, and the Tigers get another turnover. They create another one. Pushing is Singleton on a bounce, Ladner. Ladner's got that green light every time he touches it, but hands it off to Weaver behind his screen.
I tell you, I'm really impressed with Justice Williams. He's giving up a lot of sides, but he's guarding that post, and he's doing the little things to help his team win here.
The drive, Singleton spinning. Was about to scoop, but saw his teammate Williams and passed it off. Draws a foul. Contreras picks up his first. We're seeing these guys so skilled with their ball handling, shooting, can use their left and their right hands. So it goes back, all young players, you coaches preach this, got to work on your weaknesses and make them your strengths.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. There's no question about it. And I think that's just a tribute to the guys getting in the gym in the summertime and those coaches staying on them and they putting in the work. And they're getting his paying off here today.
A tough shot that wouldn't fall for Bay High. Corinth now turns it over again. As you were thinking, maybe we'd see the Warriors slow down, set things up, only up by one. But we have seen just a defensive struggle in this first quarter. Tigers now will circle it back out, find it at the center circle to Weaver. Weaver now, and the Tigers decide to go ahead and set up their offense. Off a screen, open look, but passing is White. Ladner, little head fake. Warriors right there, though, with a hand in his face. Good job of the Warriors of always getting the hands up on the shooters.
Yeah, I tell you, the Tigers are really precise in their offense. They utilize the cuts, good screens, really good, a fun team to watch.
They probably run this offense in their sleep at night. Here's a three straight away, would not fall. There's Williams, got his hand on the loose ball, couldn't pull it in. Here come the Warriors. Warriors in transition. Here's Jazz Garner, cut off. Sorrell trying to get it on a bounce, and had it taken away Ladner. Ladner running, 4-on-2. Ladner flips it up, no good, but the follow good that time by Taylor Singleton. Way to run the floor.
Yeah, Bay High really likes to get out and run every time the opportunity presents itself.
And an illegal screen that time by Sorrell. That's his first personal foul. That's a big foul. If he gets in foul trouble, it really changes the complexion of this game because he's a dominant inside figure.
Definitely, because Bay High is so small. With him being in there, it really disrupts what Bay High is trying to do from a defensive standpoint. So if he gets in foul trouble, it could change this thing here.
Here's the drive, the spin, the left hand, and a whistle and a foul call. So the Tigers, with 2.1 seconds left, if they can make a couple free throws, it would take maybe a half-court heave for Corinth not to be trailing going to the second quarter.
Yeah, Sorrell just picked up another foul there, so that could be a story here late. 2 on
Sorrell, the sophomore. Free throw good by Williams. So 2.1. And this one's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see the strategizing by both coaches. Going to see the battle of wills.
Yeah, and speaking of the coaches, I think Coach Green and Coach Thompson, they do a great job of getting their kids prepared each year.
And the Warriors took an extra dribble and a pretty good attempt, just long, no good. That was on target. That's the end of the first quarter. It's a 12-9 lead for the Bay High Tigers. Well, more memories being made here at the Mississippi Coliseum as we are here between the first and the second quarter. And if you want to own these memories, then you can purchase DVDs of these games. To buy a DVD, it's simple. Go to www.MHSAA.tv. That's MISSHSAA.tv. And you're able to go through there and pick up copies of all of these DVDs. You'll find some archives of games that go back across different sports, and that's on MISSHSAA.tv. Josh West alongside Randy Bolden. A 3-point game as we get set to start the second quarter. 8 minutes in the books, and I don't think we've really figured out anything yet except that so much talent for Corinth, but the Tigers are going to scratch and claw and are going to find a way to keep this thing close. In fact, we might get to the fourth quarter with the Tigers having a lead, a pretty good lead.
Right, definitely. And I think early on in the first quarter here, I think it's like a boxing match. Both teams kind of feeling each other out and see what's going on. So I think as the game progresses, you'll see both teams start to play their style of basketball.
Great work by our guys, marking the guys back in the truck, doing a fantastic job. Could not do it without our crew. You are joining us along the MHSAA network. You can catch us on YouTube channel or Play on Sports. You can also go to ESPN3. There's so many different ways that we've been so it's just part of the Play On Network on the YouTube. So go to YouTube, search Play On Network, and you can be able to follow these games. It's so neat, archived on demand, DVDs, live, and then teaming up with ESPN3 to get those there. That opens up a whole new world of possibilities. 3-point game. Tigers have it between the rings. Here's a drive with the left hand to the rim and the finish. Well, what they don't have, I should say, in height, the Tigers make up for in hops.
Oh, no doubt, and it's a big difference with Sorrell sitting on the bench there. You don't have anybody to alter those shots, so it's a lot easier to get to that rim now.
Weeks got to kind of take over here. Weeks driving. Good ball reversal. There's Desmond Harris, first time we've called his name.
Yeah, and Bay High is doing a good job of pushing them off the block, not letting them get on their sweet spots. They're defending that post real well.
A pretty good job that time by Weaver. Slipped down, and he did not want to create a mismatch for an easy bucket. And so he just reached out and pulled down on that arm. Picked up the foul. It's his first. That's Bay High's fourth. Here's the drive, left side. Into the corner. The basketball, it's Herman. Herman just a sophomore. Weeks. Back out to Garner.
I think both teams are doing a good job on their man-to-man defense. They're keeping the guy in front of them and being in help defense. So I think a great job of both teams on defense early on.
Foul inside as Kendrick Williams draws the foul. The foul going to be the fifth on Bay High. It's going to be on Weaver. Weaver's now picked up two quick ones, so the senior, we'll see if they decide to tell him, hey, you've got to play through it. Looks like that's what they're going to do for the moment.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be hard to lose Weaver. He does a good job on both ends of the floor there.
I don't think you can teach fundamental defense and execute it any better than the Tigers do, of keeping your rear end down, moving your feet, being active with your hands. As we see an offensive foul here on Weeks. Weeks picks up his first. Now, Dion, the senior with the size, now with Sorrell on the bench, they cannot lose Weeks.
Right, and the thing about it is, you alluded to with Bay High, the thing about it, yeah, you're butt down, you're moving your feet, but it takes effort, and they're doing a great job of putting a lot of effort in guarding them and keeping them from their soft spots.
You added the other side of that coin, because you add the fundamentals with the heart that this team plays with and the energy, and all of a sudden it's like gnats buzzing around you. They're everywhere.
Right, and that's why I think they're here playing today.
The steal, Weeks to the rim, and the finish with the left hand. So many of these players here, very seldom when you get to this arena do you see players with a glaring fundamental weakness. It's just not there.
Right, because in order to play at this stage here, you have to have those fundamentals and that effort and that desire. All those things have to pair in order to get to this game here.
So impressive. You get your money's worth every time you step into this building, and there used to be a lot of fans, and I've been looking for them this week. They are here every year buying the state passes, the tournament passes, and they are making every single session. That's pretty neat.
Well, ain't no doubt, because Mississippi basketball, it has the rank up there with some of the best in the country. We love our basketball here, and the kids put the time in as well as the coaches, and that's why you get the quality of athletes you get out of Mississippi every year.
Bay High by 3 with the basketball after that baseline miss by the Warriors. Warriors have had a tough time getting inside except in transition. And that's because Bay High very active, packed in that zone. Open look at a 3, and Taylor Singleton just walked right through that door. He's got 5.
Yeah, a good set play by Coach Thompson, running to get the guard to come up for the three-point shot rather.
Tough fadeaway shot, maybe ill-advised early on that trip, knowing that his team now all of a sudden is down by 6.
Right, and now Bay High is kind of walking it up, trying to control the tempo, and I think right now the momentum has shifted to their side.
Weaver, who slipped off the pass, playing with 2 fouls. Singleton on a bounce, Ladner. Back out to Weaver. Flashing was Williams, who didn't get it. Weaver now pulling back with a crossover. Very patient Bay High. Good feet inside, turning, going up, blocked away though. That's what Weeks has to do for the Warriors. He's got to guard that rim.
Oh, yeah, he has to protect that basket on there. I think he did a good job on that possession of not letting him get to the basket.
Pass looking inside for Weeks. Other thing that Weeks did right there that he has to do, can't let that defender get into his body. Did a good job that time of showing the officials, hey, this is a clean all-ball block.
Right, he did
no body down low.
Right, he did a great job of sealing him off and making sure there's no contact.
Weeks has it now. Does defense translate to offense? Not that time. Scary play, as at least we saw Williams have great balance suspended in midair. That time, Kendrick Williams, just a sophomore, slipped up underneath the rebounder.
Yeah, I think Weeks got a little frustrated and took a shot from the outside because they've been doing a good job of double teaming him on the block. So he got a little impatient and took a jump shot out there. But I really think they can utilize him more on that block there.
Pretty neat how the timeouts have gone. We had a timeout at exactly 4 minutes in the first quarter, timeout at 4:05 to go here in the second quarter. So it's just giving us a great opportunity to continue and tell the story of this game. And the story early on is that Raheem Sorrell, the sophomore, with 2. Dion Weeks has picked up a foul. He's got 4 points, but for the most part, he hasn't been able to get going offensively like he would like. And Bay High has been the team that has set the tempo and been able to, despite being undersized, been able to get to the rim.
Right. I think the speed and quickness of Bay High has really bothered Sorrell and Weeks here early. They're not letting them feel them. They're moving when the ball is being swung around. I think that's bothering Meeks and Sorrell thus far. So they're not able to gain position as well as they would like to.
Justice Williams at the line. He's already 2 for 2, and that's all of his points so far. Williams going to settle in. He's got 10 seconds there. Deep breath. And a soft roll. That was not the arch he was looking for, but when you shoot it with that much purity, I should say, perfect backspin, dead on target, and soft off the fingertips.
Yeah, Justice Williams really plays bigger than his size. He's doing a good job under there, rebounding and blocking out and guarding the big guys under there. He does the thing that doesn't show up on the stat sheet.
19-11, pass inside, catch by Sorrell, and Corinth had to bring him back in. There's a pass from up top, little outside in to Weeks, who finishes in traffic. Back to a 6-point game. 3 out of the corner. Singleton. Another 3. He's got 6 in the quarter. 2 from downtown. 8 in the game. And a 9-point lead. Largest of the game for Bay High.
Yeah, that's the second 3-pointer there for Singleton. He does a good job of setting his feet, getting his elbow up, and knocking the 3 down.
And Corinth, who was talking about what they needed to do to get on track, went right down to the big guy, who's now got 4.
Yeah, Corinth is starting to pick them up full court, man-to-man, trying to disrupt their offense because Bay High has been doing a good job of being patient and running their offense here early on.
Williams kicking it out. Passing on a 3 is Primus. Primus trying to get it over to Singleton that time. Can't say enough about how good a defensive play was just made by Desmond Harris. He knew they were trying to free it up to Singleton at the top of the circle and just jump that pass like a defensive back. So Tigers will try it again. It's a 7-point ball game, 22-15. Pass into the corner. Singleton on a bounce inside. Working inside. Williams blocked away by Sorrell.
Yeah, Williams is going right at Sorrell, trying to get him to pick up that 3rd foul, but Sorrell did a good job of keeping his arms up and not allowing them to call the foul on him.
A bang-bang play. Williams nearly took a charge, instead called for a block. And that was really could have been a swing play in this game. That would have been number 3 on Richardson. Here's the drive, the spin, the floater with the right hand by Dion Weeks.
Yeah, I think Weeks is starting to get in a groove here. I'm starting to see a little bounce in his step here. He's starting to relax and shoot the basketball.
Weeks was 6 of his 8 in the quarter. Tigers sensing that their lead has been trimmed from 9 down to 5. And so they'll go ahead and set back up their offense. Almost to the 2-minute mark to go here in the first half. Josh Wessel alongside Randy Bolden. Glad you're joining us here on the MHSAA Network. Here's the drive into the corner. The 3 again. Very close, just short.
Even though Bay High didn't get the basket, that was great ball movement. They share the ball so well, and it's really hard to guard those guys when they're sharing the ball as well as they're sharing it.
Contreras out of the corner to Weeks. He's got that look in his eye right now.
Yeah, Weeks wants this shot. He feels like he can score when he get ready.
Harris misses. Tigers have it. Williams running. Williams, no-look bounce pass. Singleton to the rim. Love that kid.
Yeah, it all started from Justice Williams blocking out, getting the rebound, and starting in transition. He, like I said, he does a lot of things that won't show up on the stat sheet.
Almost down to a minute to go here in this first half. Tough turnaround shot wouldn't fall. Tigers battling for the loose ball. 7-point lead. Tigers going to bring back in Brandon White. And it'll be Ladner from the baseline off of Corinth. Full court pressure now set up for the Warriors. Ladner in the backcourt. Gonna bring it, picked up by Contreras. Good fingertip grab that time by Williams. Williams now gonna hold near their center circle. We might see Bay High try to close out this first half. Corinth gonna sit back in his zone. Kind of tough to see if it's a 3-2 or a sagging man, but they're gonna sit back and just.
Yeah, I think they're in a sagging man. I think coach is content with them taking the last shot if Corinth doesn't come out and pressure the basketball.
Here's Weaver. Now Bay High, if they could have gotten a layup there, they would have taken it. Could not, so they'll circle it back out. Weaver got to be careful of the 5-second call. And it's 5 seconds. And so you see, look over to the Bay High head coach Kelton Thompson. He's saying you got to be able to break that 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, you gotta know that the officials are counting. You gotta know what number he's on when you're stalling for the last shot there.
So now Corinth a chance to grab momentum heading into the locker room. That was a big 5-second call. Richardson driving to the rim with the left hand. No good. Loose ball tapped around. Time left. Weeks with time expiring puts it in with about 0.8 left. Time expires. 10 points in the first half for Weeks. 8 in the second quarter. It's a 24-19 lead for Bay High as we go to the break. We'll take a break, come back with the recap after this here on the MHSAA Network.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Alright, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program and participate in the MHSAA network, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Josh West, Randy Bolden here at the Mississippi Coliseum. 24-19 Bay High. Big 5-second call, big bucket there by Dion Weeks to kind of get a little bit of momentum for the Warriors heading into the locker room. But that first half, for the most part, controlled by the Bay High Tigers.
Yeah, I think Bay High did a good job of controlling the tempo, getting Corinth to play the style of basketball that they wanted to play. And I think what Corinth's going to have to do in the second half, they're going to have to get the ball down low and make sure they capitalize on those easy baskets they missed in the first half there.
Don't go anywhere here along the MHSAA network. Our second half of our Class 4A boys semifinal will be coming up in a moment. We will take our halftime break with Bay High on top by 5 here at halftime. Come back with a look at the first half stats and the recap of the lineups before we start the third quarter. Back in a moment. You're watching the MHSAA network. Welcome back to the capital city, Jackson, Mississippi. Mississippi Coliseum, as we affectionately know it as the Big House. Class 4A boys semifinal. Bay High, a surprising, you could say, looking on paper, 24-19 lead. Josh West alongside Randy Bolden. It's time now for us to go back and take a look at some first half stats. And we were looking, Randy, and trying to see what really jumped out at us in that first half. Both teams shooting it at 40%, rebounding in favor of Corinth, but the turnovers and what led to points off turnovers were big for Bay High. Bay High was 3 of 8 from beyond the arc, and then you look at all the missed layups in that first half by Corinth. Those are your differences.
Oh, no doubt. I think Corinth was able to get second chance shots, but they wasn't able to capitalize once they got those rebounds, or they missed a lot of those layups right underneath the basket on second chances. So I think the second half, I think those were Coach was addressing in the locker room. I'm sure he addressed those issues, and I think right now that's the difference in the ball game.
The graphic, 5 of 6 on free throws for Bay High, 1 of 3 for Corinth. Bay High undersized, but getting to the free throw line. That stat's got to flip-flop if Corinth wants to win this basketball game.
Whenever I look at the free throws, when I see you shooting through only 3 free throws and a half, that tells me you're not being aggressive. And I think this second half, I think Corinth will be more aggressive, getting to the basket and creating fouls.
You are watching the MHSAA Network, our exclusive coverage of the 2012 MHSAA State Championship. So glad you are with us. And Corinth will start with a basketball there in their white, Bay High in their road royal blue. And the Warriors down 5, going inside of the big guy, and they got to have more of that, and 1.
Right, and that time they were able to set up the high-low and get it to the big guy in there, and he was able to make the layup with some harm.
Sorrell very capable of taking over this game, and what makes that foul even bigger is that it's on Justice Williams, his third, and he's immediately coming out. He's been the only guy that contend with Sorrell down there on the block.
Yeah, I think that foul's going to hurt early on because I say Williams is one of those do-it-all guys. He's one of those guys that just plays hard and defends that post really, really well.
That was Jose Contreras who got a hand on that one but batted it out of bounds. Bay High's lead trimmed to 3 in the opening minute of the third quarter. Winner of this game will get the winner of Laurel and Amanda Elsie. That championship game will be March 2nd on a Friday night. This Friday night at 8:30 right here on the network, as well as Mississippi Public Broadcasting. Here's Ladner. Left to the key inside. Missed layup, partially blocked Weeks. Little head fake in traffic. Corinth held their ground. They walled up and didn't slap.
That time those guys didn't leave the floor. They kept their arms up and was able to disrupt the shot there.
Weeks driving from the head of the key. Kicking Richardson a tie. Ring it up for Richardson. Brand new ball game.
Yeah, I think what Corinth has decided to do, they're going to play inside out. They're going to let the big guys get it on the inside and try to get some easy baskets.
Driving to the hoop that time was Brandon Primus. And that's the third foul on Sorrell. Very surprised there that Sorrell wasn't able to get a cleaner swipe attempt. And again, we talk about Primus doing a great job of getting into his body.
Right, exactly. I think that time Sorrell brought his hands down and instead of keeping them straight up. And I think that's what officials saw him bring his hand down and get him across the wrist there.
If you don't have your feet set, if you leave the floor and they get into your body, you're never going to get that call.
Oh, no, never. But Bay High does a good job of getting to the body, creating that contact, and I think that's what keeping Sorrell in foul trouble here.
24-24, make it 25-24. Bay High has been outscored here at the onset, 5-1 to tie this thing up. And now a 1-point lead after that free throw. Here's the shot. No good. And now we have a jump ball. And boy, those two young men tied up for it. So much passion and emotion. It kind of overspilled there.
Oh, no doubt. You got to leave it on the floor. You know, it's win or go home. So these guys are going to leave it on the floor out here tonight.
Yeah, the guys aren't going to back down. Let the officials come in and separate.
Oh, no doubt. It's my basketball. If it's loose, we always say it's my basketball.
And Weaver fouled in the backcourt on this foul going to be against Jazz Garner, the junior. Bay High has not blinked. We saw an early surge from Corinth, but the Tigers have not been rattled. It's been neat to see how they have kept their composure. Weaver now. Who will get going again for Bay High? Backdoor cut, Singleton to the rim for two.
Great, that was a great give and go and cut backdoor by Bay High. They do a really good job of running their offense and being patient.
A dozen for Singleton. Spinning, attacking, leaning, defender falling down. And so that was too easy for Kendrick Williams.
Yeah, you see both teams are starting to relax, and you see them both getting in a flow and starting to score baskets each possession here.
What a hustle play by Contreras to get on the floor. Held ball, and the arrow is with Corinth. So Corinth has come out of the locker room. It had been neat to be a fly on the wall at halftime, Coach, and hear what was said.
Well, Coach definitely said something to ignite these guys. They're really playing with some passion there. They're being a lot aggressive here early on in the third quarter.
1 point game, Bay High on top. Spinning, Weeks, kicking, Contreras driving along the baseline now. Looking for Weeks, that pass may be forced. Weaver got a steal. And now Bay High, 5-on-1. Richardson, we've got a layup. Check that Singleton for the layup.
Yeah, Singleton does a great job of filling the lanes in transition, getting to that rim and making the layups there.
Contreras, the three to answer. Yes, sir.
Yeah, the tempo is really starting to pick up. Both teams are ready to pick the pace up and finish this ball game up.
You got to be impressed with every game delivering. You're never going to buy a ticket to this tournament and be disappointed.
Oh, no, these kids give it all. They play hard. They leave it all out on the floor, and that's all you can ask for as a coach, that these guys just leave it all on the floor.
Now let me clarify as Bay High turns it over. There's going to be a winner and a loser. There's going to be some disappointed fans. But the passion and intensity, sometimes you watch an NBA game, you can't watch it for 3.5 quarters.
No.
This, never the case.
No, these guys are definitely going to leave it out on the floor. And other than the score, there's no loser in this game.
Driving inside is Weeks, being aggressive. That's the mentality the Warriors have to have, especially Weeks. The foul will be on Weaver. So you've got Weaver with 3, Coach. You've got Williams with 3.
Yeah.
And so the two kind of spark plugs that have gotten this team going. Singleton, no fouls. That's good news. But again, Bay High's got to be careful.
Right, and I think it's just setting us up for a good fourth quarter when all those guys that's sitting on the bench with foul trouble get ready to come back in the fourth quarter.
So Weaver coming out, making sure his substitution knows his defensive assignment. Kelton Piernas, a junior. Fits right in with the rest of his team at 5'9". Nobody is over 6 foot. Here's the free throw, and that one is no good. So the misses, and the Tigers now a chance to retake the lead. With 4:40 remaining third quarter. Pass nearly came to us. The Warriors got a steal. Garner gonna go to the rack, gonna float in with 2 hands and finish. Bay High not gonna waste any time now, coming back the other way.
Corinth has picked up their defensive pressure here, and I think it's bothering Bay High a little here early on in the third.
In the corner, a 3, ring it up for Primus. He's got 6. Bay High up by 1. They were down 2 to up 1 in a blink of an eye. Contreras nearly got off a 3. Great seal by Weeks. How did that come out? But he went back and got it. Were they calling for a loose ball foul?
Yeah, again, the high-low, with the exact same play they ran early on in the third quarter. That time, Weeks wasn't able to capitalize on it.
A man's move that time by Weeks to stay with the play. Piernas picked up the foul. We have a timeout, Bay High, with 3:55 to go in this third quarter. So we thought, they say 2's a coincidence, 3's a trend. This is planned by Coach Kelton Thompson at about the halfway mark of each quarter, being that he doesn't go very deep on his bench. He makes sure that he gets those guys a breather about every 4 minutes.
Well, definitely. A lot of time when you don't have a deep bench, that's what you utilize your timeouts to rest your guys up, give them a blow, and I think that's what Coach is doing here each time he's called a timeout thus far.
You're watching the MHSAA Network, our exclusive coverage of the 2012 Mississippi High School Activities Association Basketball Championships. Whether you're following us on YouTube as part of the Play On Network, whether you're joining us on ESPN3 or going to MHSAA.tv. We're glad you're with us and making us part of your day. Warriors with the basketball, left wing. So Weeks wanting to take over, elevates, shot short, no good, went and got it again, but had it poked away. Ladder to the steal, great outlet to Singleton, he elevates, the tip, good, oh my goodness, fantastic by Primus on the follow.
Yeah, that was a great follow-up. Anytime your teammate is out on the layup, you tend to just relax and don't get behind him. He did a good job of following him up on the layup that time.
Coach, that looked just like me in my backyard when I had the goal over to 8 feet.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt about it.
Here's a three from left to the key, no good. And the rebound, nearly Bay High had it. Warriors get it back and get it to Weeks. Great hustle play falling down by Williams to find Weeks cutting to the basket. Weeks has taken over. He's got a dozen. Singleton nearly turned it over. Still a 1-point game. More good hands. Richardson ripped it away, and Weeks got fouled by Primus.
Yeah, that was all started by Richardson with his pressure out front guard. He did a good job of guarding the basketball there and forcing a turnover.
We started in third or fourth gear. We're shifted into overdrive, and it looks like we're finding gears we didn't even know were on this thing. It keeps getting more and more and more intense.
Oh, no doubt. We knew going in that both teams like to get up and down the floor, so I was anticipating a fast basketball game.
Weeks trying to create, but a charge taken. Weeks picks up the foul, just his second. 2:41 remaining third quarter. We're going to have Johnny Mims, the executive director of the Mississippi Association of Coaches, joining us here in just a few minutes. You won't want to go anywhere for that, as he'll be mic'd up for the start of the fourth quarter. We'll talk to him for a few minutes. They've got a big all-star game coming up in July. All of his coaches, a lot of them make it out to these games. All these state tournaments are fun for the coaches to take in and see their kids play at the highest level. Back into the ball game is Williams. To Singleton, cutting baseline, Ladner, pass behind Ladner, thrown away.
Yeah, that was a good idea by Singleton. It just went off the fingertips of Ladner there, but great idea.
So it's got to be one of the most exciting games of the tournament so far. It's got a chance to be one of the ones that is most competitive. We've got just over 10 minutes left in regulation. Extra basketball is a possibility. Here's a fadeaway by Richardson. The high carom, no good. And who else but Williams is going to come in and take over. Trying to skip it across the floor, thrown away. Richardson got a steal. Now Corinth with numbers. Great feed to Weeks. Weeks was trying to then give it right back to Richardson instead of trying to go up and finish. And it slipped through his hands. Ooh, but he got bailed out by Ladner.
Well, actually, I think that was a good foul by Ladner because I think Weeks had an easy opportunity for a layup. So now you get it on the floor.
Three out of the corner by Jazz Garner. All 5 of his points coming here in the third quarter. And all of a sudden, Corinth up by 2. Singleton to Ladner. If he'd have been 2 steps closer, he'd have taken that.
Oh, definitely. He would have definitely let that one go.
He looked at it and realized he was in the parking lot and thought better of it. Here's Piernis. Piernis had it ripped away. Jazz Garner taken over. Misses the layup, but a follow by Weeks.
Yeah, that pressure out front is really giving Bay High problems right now. I think Corinth has turned it up on the defensive end here.
Well, Piernis ended up in the protective barrier that kind of keeps the fans from the floor. He shedded that pretty quickly. I don't think that he was too thrilled about landing in it. He'll come off the floor. Maybe his emotions kind of got to simmer down, and Weaver going to check back in with 3 fouls. So Weaver and Williams back in each with 3. Corinth, with those 2 men on the bench, have turned a deficit of a point into a 4-point lead. Tigers with Ladner pushing. They'll pull back behind the back with a crossover. Right to the key, going to work, and they say off of Kendrick Williams. It's off of Williams' foot. Ladner from the baseline.
Yeah, things are definitely starting to heat up here, offensively and defensively here.
Pass into the corner. The catch and nearly a travel that time by Primus. Primus in trouble, got it to Singleton. Singleton by a fingernail kept that one from going
Oh,
to the
no
back.
doubt about it. They're really turning that pressure up, forcing turnovers here, and I think that's the difference in the third quarter here. Has been the defensive pressure of Corinth.
Another steal. Harris over to the shooter, and that time missed by Garner. Tap no good, and they're going to call loose ball foul inside. I think this is going to go on Williams.
Yeah, it's so loud in here you can hardly hear the whistle blow. These fans are really into it, and that's what these basketball fans in Mississippi, that's what it's all about here.
53.6 to go, and you see Richardson talking to Williams, trying to keep his emotions in check.
Oh,
nice
yeah,
job by
it's
Williams,
very
driving and a charge.
There you go. Both teams are really starting to guard people here.
That was number 4 on Justice Williams. You got to take a gamble to bring him back in, and now we might not see him till the midway point of the fourth quarter. Brandon White is back in, 49.1 seconds to go.
Yeah, this really been a positive thing for Corinth. They're being able to establish a 4-point lead with their big guy sitting on the bench, getting him ready for the fourth quarter. So that's been really huge for them.
38-34. Deep three, Richardson in and out. Crowd was ready to erupt. Weeks tracks it down to the corner. Swings it across the floor. The catch by Harris, the
and
floater,
one.
and one. Oh, are they going to wave it off? How can you wave? I'm not sure about the rule. Explain to us, the novices, about that rule. He was on the baseline and went up and over the backboard.
Behind the
that
backboard, exactly. You can't shoot it from behind the backboard, and that's what the second official did a good job of seeing it. The official that called it good, he wasn't in a perfect angle to see it, so they waved the basket off there.
Now, there was one shot like that, Larry Bird. That's NBA. Does the NBA have
Right.
that rule?
The NBA does not have that rule.
rule.
Right, exactly.
Ooh, somebody's going to start a petition
Oh,
to
yeah,
get that rule wiped
definitely.
off.
But it definitely was a great shot.
That's a rule that we can do without.
Oh, definitely.
We don't have so many rules. We're like the IRS. 38-34, 29.8. But that's one where that's a 1 in a million shot, and it doesn't count.
Right, and with a game of this magnitude, you hope that shot doesn't come back to haunt you.
Well, Harris has got to step up and make it only a 1-point takeaway by making these 2 free throws, and he makes the first.
Right. I think Coach Green went in at halftime and really talked to these guys about defensive intensity, because they really picked up that intensity, and I think that's the reason they've been able to get the lead here in the third quarter.
Harris steps up, did what he had to do, takes care of business at the stripe. And now Ladner in the backcourt facing full court pressure. Harris playing with tons of energy. Ladner unfazed. Ladner to the corner. The catch by Primus. Primus travels.
Yeah, the turnovers here have hurt Bay High in the third quarter. The pressure really bothered them here early on, and hopefully in the fourth quarter, Coach can settle their bunch down and get them back to executing like they were in the first half.
The turnovers have evened up, and so the rebounding edge for Corinth has pushed them over the top.
Exactly. They've been able to capitalize on those offensive rebounds here in the third.
Here is Garner spinning. Weeks from way beyond the arc, short, as we head to the fourth quarter. 40-34. Randy, before you hand it over to Johnny Mims, let's go ahead and get the promo, and then we'll get your thoughts before Johnny Mims steps in. Fans, don't forget, as great as this has been, you can go back and relive it immediately almost after. We get them up so quick to MHSAA.tv. You can watch all of the MHSAA championships on demand. Right there, you see it on your screen along the MHSAA network. Our exclusive coverage of MHSAA sports. You cannot beat it. And then don't forget that all of the games are also going to be on the championship games on Mississippi Public Broadcasting. Johnny Mims is making his way over here. Randy, got about 10-15 seconds. What's your thoughts about this game heading to the fourth quarter? 6-point lead, 40-34 for Corinth.
Well, I see 2 things. One of them being the turnovers that Bay High committed turnovers in the third quarter, as well as Justice being able to, he got in foul trouble, and it really affected them down the stretch here in the third.
All right, Randy, we'll talk to you in just a couple of minutes. as Johnny Mims is going to step in and join us here in just a moment. 40-34 our score. This is going to be a fun one here down the stretch, and so we welcome into the broadcast Johnny Mims, the executive director of the Mississippi Association of Coaches. And Johnny, as you settle in for the start of this fourth quarter, let's just talk about where we are in this ball game. What energy, what fan, I guess, frenzy this is here right now.
Man, this is a great environment, great atmosphere, and you can't ask for any better. Just both of these teams, just you can tell, just wanting to win.
A drive to the bucket by Primus. And Johnny, so glad for joining us. The Mississippi Association of Coaches, so many things that they do for the betterment of their constituents, from clinics and just making sure that their coaches have everything they need to be successful. And I know the coaches, this is something that the coaches that didn't have their teams here, as Primus knocks down the free throw, they're able to come here and enjoy the basketball of this tournament at the highest level of competition.
They are. It's just, like I said, it's a great feeling to be here. And I know all of my coaches, I know every one of them wished that they could get here. And a lot of them thought they were going to be here and didn't make it. But, we always say in our business, there's always another year.
It really is, as we see a three-ball miss, but a tip follow not going by Williams, but he sticks with it and finishes. Kendrick Williams is starting to flex his muscle on the boards and with his defensive intensity. But Johnny, your coaches, they really are a fraternity. They look out for each other. They help each other out, from the film trading on Saturdays in football to helping each other scout, to all the thing that goes into it. They are a support system for one another, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And one of the things that we're going into, as you see, one of our players got fouled here, but as you can see, one of our what they're getting into right now is that Wednesday we will be picking our all-stars. We'll be picking the 12 best players in the state of Mississippi, girls, and 12 best boys, and we'll go to Alabama and play them in an all-star game.
And let's talk about that. That's coming up into July. Do you have any more details about the game itself?
Oh, yeah. Now the Mississippi-Alabama game will be played the 20th of March, I believe it is. So we'll be playing that ball game like a couple of weeks right after the state championship, and then we'll pick the same 12 best juniors that'll be seniors next year. We'll play that game in July for a lot of recruiting process.
That'll be exciting. 42-38, big three-point play by Singleton. Singleton gets a swipe. Singleton off to the races, to the rim, missed it, and the rebound pulled in by Garner. Here come the Warriors, attacking Weeks. Dion leans in, misses, loose ball, out of bounds, last touch by Bay High. Well, what else is new in the world of what you guys are doing? Again, there's so much going on throughout the year. Some of the things that are kind of off the beating path, so to speak. What are some of your coaches out there watching this and getting excited about this, maybe coming over the weekend for the finals? What are some dates they need to know to make sure they get on their calendar?
Well, like I said, the first thing we got coming up is our Mississippi-Alabama All-Star basketball game. We'll leave on, I think, the 16th of March, and play the game on the 20th, and we'll be down there for 2.5-3 days, and be just showcasing our talent. And right now we've got I think a 2-year straight run on them right now, but they have great athletes over there along with us, and a lot of my coaches will follow us and support us and come to the ball game there. So and then after that we'll jump right into the clinics, and we'll have our big clinic this summer in July, and I think
a baseline drive that time for the finish by Desmond Harris for 2 more. But Johnny, continue that thought.
Yeah, well, in July we'll have our All Sports Clinic, and last year we had our best turnout ever. We had over 3,000 coaches attend our clinic, and we had some great college coaches come in and speak to them. Oh my gosh, from all over, and we'll have this year we've got I think Bobby Knight coming in and speak to him in basketball. Last year we had Nick Saban, and we just keep getting these big name guys to come in all these different sports, and our coaches just love it. So.
Well, it's fantastic. Dion Weeks picking up the charge. That was his 4th personal foul. Each team was 7. Each team going to be in the bonus over the final 6 minutes of this fourth quarter. But Johnny, before we let you go, one thing I want to touch on is a spinning drive by Brandon Primus. Last question here is the fact that this MHSAA network so fantastic, highlighting the athletes. These coaches, they have such a vested interest in these kids getting as much exposure as they can to be able to live out their dreams at the next level. The information now that is out there and this high quality technology that we're able to utilize is phenomenal.
This is great, and this is a great asset to the MHSAA and all all of our events, sporting events, and of course y'all do just such a tremendous job, so professionally done, and these people back home now watching this, and they could be sitting in their school right now watching this. You know, if they're in the gym or whatever, you know, it's just a great.
Well, it is a 2-point game, 44-42, another bucket by Taylor Singleton. We're going to jump to break. Johnny, thanks for joining us. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Johnny Mims, Executive Director of the Mississippi Association of Coaches, back after this.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program and participate in the MHSAA network, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
(44-42) as we welcome Randy Bolden back to the broadcast. Fantastic interview with Johnny Mims, the Executive Director of the Mississippi Association of Coaches. Randy, while you've been away and taking this in, your observations, we've got ourselves a 2-point game. Singleton taking over.
Oh, no doubt. He's been finishing real well at the basket there. I think we're in store for a real good finish here.
What's interesting is you've got Weeks and Sorrell each with 4 personal fouls, a 4-point game, 4:50 left, each team in the bonus.
Yeah, like I say, they setting the plate for a real dramatic finish here, and I'm looking forward to it.
The drive by Primus, he gets tied up and traveled, and Bay High head coach Kelton Thompson, hands on his hips, didn't say anything to the official, but I guess looks could kill. There you go.
Yeah, he's trying to get his guys to settle down a little bit. Relax and just let the offense come and play within the flow.
Tigers going to bring Weaver and are going to bring Williams back in. Justice Williams, Sorrell inside, goes up, lays it in.
Big guy is finally finding his niche here. He's starting to catch the ball and make the easy layups here.
Here's the pull-up jumper by Singleton, long no good. And that loose ball is out of bounds on the baseline. Sorrell's got to be careful he doesn't get teed up right there.
Yeah.
It's his emotions it was inadvertent, but they kind of just overflowed there. Singleton, just Sorrell's presence. He had an angle to the bucket, but saw Sorrell and said, I'm just going to stay here and shoot a 10-foot.
Oh, definitely. That's the difference in a layup and a pull-up jump shot with Big Boy standing there.
Nice catch, turning left shoulder. Brandon Primus, 2 more. He's in a double figures. I have him unofficially with 10.
Oh, yeah, he's really giving them a huge lift. With Williams sitting out, he's come in and he's really made Corinth have to guard him out there.
48-44 into the corner. The catch, Richardson facing up. Sorrell, step back, Jay. No good. Rebound by Williams. Williams making his presence felt. 4-point game.
Yeah, I think Bay High will live with Williams shooting the jump shot. They don't want him close into the basket. So I think next time, Coach's going to try to get him to get close into the basket there.
Ladner going to work it right side. Singleton. Weaver going to drive. Spin to the rim and in. Well, that was a nice move by Weaver.
Yeah, that was a big-time shot, big-time move.
48-46. 1-possession game. Randy, goes back to what we were talking about. Felt like the intensity might spill over to some extra basketball. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it really looked like it's heading that way.
Sorrell going to fade on the baseline and a touch.
Oh, that's a great touch by the big fella right there. Great touch.
A dozen for Sorrell, who's been in foul trouble all day. Primus now going to attack. No look feed to Williams for a lay-in. That was all created by the look off by Primus.
Right, and Sorrell kind of wanted to step back. He didn't want to pick up that 5th foul there, so he kind of stepped back on that one.
It was good recognition by Williams. He went up not trying to double clutch. He knew that Sorrell could not foul. Here's Garner to Contreras. He'll step back with a 17-footer and put it in. Ice water in Contreras' veins.
Contreras made some big shots here in the second half. Huge to live full corner.
4-point game. Weaver and a timeout with 2:17 to go in the fourth. 52-48. You're watching the MHSAA network. It is the 4A boys semifinal. Corinth and Bay High, they battled back and forth all day long. The winner gets the winner of Laurel and Amanda Elsie. You look ahead to tonight, 6:30 start right here on the network for Forest County AHS. They are undefeated, taking on Lafayette High School out of Lafayette County. And then tonight in the late game, Laurel, the Tornadoes, taking on Amanda Elsie. So a lot of basketball left on this semifinal Monday, and let's get your thoughts now. 2:17 left. Both teams have limited their fouls in the second half, so they have a couple of more that they can give, and it'll only put their opponent for a 1-and-1, not double bonus. In my mind, that's always a very big factor.
Oh, definitely a huge factor. I think Coach Thompson here got a timeout, and this is a critical point here. Down 4, you want to make sure you get a good shot here. You don't want to go down 6 with 2 minutes left on the clock. So I think he wants to really get what he wants on this possession here for Bay High.
You look out there on the floor, you can empathize with where Coach Thompson and Coach Green are right now. You get to watch it, you're relaxed, you're enjoying the afternoon. Those two guys are sweating and fighting for their lives.
Well, but that's what you put the work in. If I could trade seats with them, definitely I'd rather be sweating it out. So this is what you put the work in the summer and all throughout the season to get to this point here.
Ladner to Singleton for 3. They got the look they wanted, but Singleton I don't think got the release he wanted.
No, I think he rushed it a little bit here. I think Corinth is going to try to get it into the big guy, take their time, not be in any rush here.
Contreras over to Garner. Everybody has played their role for Corinth. Everybody's had a part in this rally in the second half as Sorrell on the baseline. The lefty from left to the key.
Yeah, the big fella's really shown the touch out here in the fourth quarter. He's made some big baskets down the stretch.
Driving Weaver, bumped, and a blocking foul. Contreras a half a step late.
Yeah, that was pretty close call there, but the official felt like he got there late at that point in time.
And even Contreras kind of admitting, got there a half a step late, patting his chest saying, that time it was on me. So here's Weaver. Weaver, 6 points. The lefty a big deep breath.
Yeah, big free throws here.
First one is up and good. That was a front end of a 1-and-1. Was not in the act of shooting. And again, it goes back to what we were talking about. Single bonus. It's a lot more pressure on that shooter on that first free throw.
Oh, most definitely. You always tell your guys that when you're in this state playoff game, it's going to come down to free throws. And you got to be able to step up at the line and make free throws in crunch time.
And this is big. I mean, this is huge. This is a 5-point game. And now a 4-point game. So it's a 2-possession game, but closer. 54-40. Only 90 ticks left. Weeks to Contreras into the center of the floor, Richardson.
I think they're going to look to go to the big fella again. He's really getting in a groove here.
Garner back to Richardson, facing up. Richardson into the corner. Garner back out to Contreras. When do the Tigers think about fouling? And it's going to come here probably under a minute. Richardson picked up by Primus. They're trying to play it out, but the fouls will have to come in a moment. Contreras fouled on the baseline.
Yeah, both teams in the 1-and-1 here. So it's going to come down to making free throws. Who makes free throws and who doesn't.
Now with Sorrell with 4 fouls, with Weeks with 4 fouls, depending on the point total, is there any, it could be down 6, could be down 5. I mean, you're looking for a 2, knowing you can get to the rim and those 2 guys don't want to foul, or being down 4, 5, or 6, are you already looking for the 3?
Well, no. In this case, I think you want to try to score a quick basket and not necessarily a 3. If you get an open look for the 3, we'll take it. But we'll try to get to the rim and get a quick basket, and hopefully we can get a turnover once we score.
Contreras, this for 10 points. And this one short, no good. Big miss, 5-point game.
Right, no rush, no need to shoot a 3-pointer unless you're open. Just try to get to the basket. They got draw up the 3-point play here.
Ladner, a good look, and he nailed it. Never a doubt when it left his fingertips. 2-point game, 55-53. So on that trip, the lead just got halved from 4-2. 1 of 2 on the free throw line. Still, the next foul, if Bayhigh doesn't get a steal, it's only 1-1 for Corinth. Corinth will have to make free throws, but that was a gutsy 3 by Ladner, who made the first bucket of the game, has been quiet since. That's his first points since the opening minutes.
Yeah, but that was a big 3-point and a great call from Coach Thompson, and they executed it really well. And here, like you say, Corinth got to make free throws. I think Bayhigh is going to come out and try to deny the basketball and try to get a quick steal, and if they don't, they're going to foul.
55-53 with 40.3 seconds left. Well, just the first half of the day. This is putting the wraps on our afternoon session. We already saw Pontotoc move to 33-0 for Bayhigh. And so Bayhigh girls and boys don't want to see their seasons come to an end. Corinth trying to get back to the championship game where they can avenge a title loss last year. Last year was to Boonville. This year they'll face the winner of the Laurel Amanda Elsie game if they can hold on. And then tonight, Forest AHS Lafayette 6:30, and then Laurel Amanda Elsie at 8. Here comes the full court pressure. Pass comes into Garner. Garner gets into the front court, had it poked away by Primus, and a foul on Primus.
Well, it's coming down to free throws, so let's see, can he step up and make 2 here?
It's going to be the third on Primus. 55-53. So now this offense coming in, defense going off. Some of the younger players with Williams and with Weaver in foul trouble. Williams and Weaver back in for Bayhigh. They're going to get their box out alignments. Weaver and Ladner have to talk to see who's got the shooter. This is key.
Definitely. You can actually make it a 2-possession game if he makes both of them.
First one is good. Little fist pump that time by Jazz Garner. He knows how big that one was.
Well, this is definitely a big one whenever you can go up and make it a 2-possession basketball game here. But even if he does make it, you're still okay if you're Bayhigh.
Left it short. Contreras tapped it out of bounds. Batted it out of bounds. Bayhigh's basketball in a 1-possession game. 2 big misses on the back end of the 1-and-1s by the Warriors. Bayhigh can tie it with 34.6. Okay, same thing. You going inside or you're shooting the 3?
I think I'm gonna take the same philosophy. If I can get a quick 2, I'm gonna go for the quick 2. But if I can get a 3-pointer and we're out wide open, we're gonna shoot it.
Well, especially that Ladner's made one. You know,
right.
Ladner's kind of the guy on this team that can knock down that triple. He's going to inbound it, and I'd expect him to inbound it and then somehow get it right back.
Exactly, and if I'm Corinth, I'm trying to run them off that 3-point line. I'm not trying to give up a 3-pointer.
Pass into Weaver. Let's see what Ladner does.
They're going to run a set play for the 3-pointer here. Corinth is doing a good job of running them off the 3-point.
Driving and
Big
missing
miss.
the layup. Big miss by Primus. He was at the rim, and I think he was shocked that it was so easy. He was in traffic, but when he got to the rim, it opened up, and I think it kind of surprised him.
Yeah, and I think somebody got a hand on it and slipped out his hand as he was going up as well. So that was a big miss there.
With 13.1, Weaver has fouled out. Well, now it changes. Now with 13.1, makes or miss, you go down and get a quick 3.
Right, and I think here with them being the double bonus, that it takes the pressure off of making that front end on 1-and-1.
And Jazz Garner, again, everybody's played their role for Corinth in this second half. You can say that for both teams, but especially Corinth. Garner's had big plays, whether it's been a big 3 or defensively. Williams has played big defensively. The 2 scorers, Weeks and Sorrell, have gotten it done offensively. And then Jose Contreras, whether it's been scrapping for a loose ball, knocking down a big shot, he's done it as well.
Yeah, those guys have really stepped up the second half and made big shots here.
The first free throw was a big make. It made it a 2-possession game. Second one misses. Primus, though, going to take it right to the rim. Put it up, no good. Tapped up and in by Williams with 5.1 and a timeout Bayhigh. 2-point game with 5.1.
Yeah, you look here to try to get a quick steal, and if you're not able to get a steal, you want to immediately foul with 5.1 seconds left. Still a lot of time left here.
You know, if Corinth would have just made 2 free throws in any of their last 3 trips, it would be a different story right now.
Oh yeah, that's what. Anytime you're in a game of this magnitude, free throws are important, and they're keeping Bay High alive by missing free throws. And so, like I said, if Bay High can get a steal here, or actually a quick foul, and they're still in good shape for at least one more shot at it.
I think that Corinth head coach Keith Green needs to tell his team it's still a 1-1, because they made the front ends of those 1-1s, but they missed the back end each time.
Right, exactly, and right now that's been their Achilles heel. The game could be out of reach had they made those back end and those free throws there.
57-55.
Can get it real interesting here. I know Bay High is going to apply pressure here and try to overplay everything, so it's going to be real important that Corinth get the ball inbound. That's the most important thing right here now.
Will Corinth close it out, or is there a miracle in the making? Let's see. Pass into Contreras. Contreras foul. Contreras, just a sophomore, young fella.
These are two really huge free throws here, Josh.
He needs both. He needs
definitely,
both.
he needs both.
To close it out, and they've called an intentional foul? No. Okay, there for a moment, what were we left to think? I looked up and I said, well, wait a minute.
Right, Coach Thompson's over there giving last-second instruction before they lined up for the free throws here.
That was almost a dramatic unfolding of the last 5 seconds. First one is up and good. Big make.
Ice water in his vein. He shot that one real calm and like he's been there before.
Right, and we've been here before. Corinth making the front end. Can they seal this one with 4.6? 3-point game. No good.
I think I'll foul here.
Here we go. They're going to let the shot get off. Singleton at the buzzer. No good. Corinth survives. They just wanted to make it interesting. They just wanted it to go down to the final play. This is a game that was destined to go all the way down and play out to the bitter end. What a win. Corinth has a chance for revenge in the state finals on Friday night at 8:30.
Well, yes, and I take my hats off to both teams. They played really hard, really hard.
Well, as we put the wraps on this one, I want to remind you about tonight. Forest HS and Lafayette at 6:30. Laurel, Amanda Elsie. That will be at 8. As we see the final score, 58-55. Corinth has advanced to the championship. For my partner, Randy Bolden, I'm Josh West. Again, don't forget to join us tonight. Great work by the guys back in the truck. Great work by Mark and the crew. I'm Josh West. Until next time, you've been watching the MHSAA Network.